Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started, good luck. What is a limitation of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP snapshots? They are only accessible from the AWS Management Console. They cannot be restored. They are automatically deleted after 30 days. They incur storage costs. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP snapshots incur storage costs, unlike some other AWS services. What is a key advantage of using Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP for workload migration? Support for only non-critical workloads. Lowest cost compared to other AWS storage services. Seamless compatibility with existing NetApp environments. Limited availability in specific AWS regions. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP provides seamless compatibility with existing NetApp environments, simplifying workload migration. What are some best practices for managing Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file systems? Regularly monitor performance metrics using Amazon CloudWatch. Utilize data lifecycle management for automatic data tiering. Take manual snapshots for disaster recovery purposes. Resize the file system size frequently to accommodate changing storage needs. Best practices for managing Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP include monitoring performance with CloudWatch, leveraging data lifecycle management for storage optimization, and utilizing AWS backup for automated snapshots instead of manual processes. Which AWS service can be integrated with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP for backup purposes? AWS Direct Connect, AWS Code Build, AWS Backup, AWS CloudFormation. AWS Backup is the recommended service for managing backups of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. How does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP ensure data integrity? By compressing data. By using checksums. By using random access memory. By replicating data across regions. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP ensures data integrity through the use of checksums. How does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP ensure high availability? By using RAID. By using dual controllers. By deploying in multiple availability zones. By integrating with AWS Lambda. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP achieves high availability by deploying across multiple availability zones. What protocol does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP support for file access? SMTP, FTP, HTTP, NFS. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports NFS for file access, aligning with typical NetApp ONTAP capabilities. What is the advantage of using cloud tier storage for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP volumes? Enhanced data durability and replication capabilities. Reduced storage costs for infrequently accessed data. Lower latency compared to performance tier storage. Improved IOPS performance for demanding workloads. Cloud tier storage provides a cost-effective option for storing infrequently accessed data in Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP volumes, optimizing storage costs without impacting performance for frequently used data. What AWS service can help in monitoring and troubleshooting performance issues with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS Code Build. Amazon CloudWatch Logs. AWS OpsWorks. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. Amazon CloudWatch logs can be used to monitor and troubleshoot performance issues with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. What is the primary purpose of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP SnapMirror? To create point-in-time backups of file systems. To establish synchronous replication between file systems across availability zones. To enable disaster recovery to a secondary AWS region. To facilitate data migration between on-premises and AWS environments. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP SnapMirror is a replication tool used for establishing synchronous replication between file systems within the same availability zone or across availability zones for disaster recovery purposes. Which AWS service can automate the creation and management of virtual private clouds for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Amazon Poly. AWS IoT Core. AWS X-Ray. AWS CloudFormation. AWS CloudFormation can automate the creation and management of AWS resources. What are the two deployment options available for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Deployment zone and capacity zone. Single AZ deployment, multi-AZ deployment with synchronous replication. Cloud tier and archive tier. HA pair with automatic failover, capacity on-demand instances. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP offers single AZ deployments for cost-effective scenarios and multi-AZ deployments with synchronous replication for high availability. Which feature of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP enables efficient data deduplication? GPU acceleration. Inline data compaction. CloudWatch metrics. Random access memory. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP uses inline data compaction for efficient data deduplication. What are some use cases for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Backup and disaster recovery target for on-premises file systems. High-performance file storage for enterprise applications. Cost-effective archive for infrequently accessed data. Scalable file storage for web content hosting. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP caters to various use cases, including high-performance file storage for demanding applications, scalable file storage for web content management, and migration of existing NetApp workloads to AWS. What type of data encryption does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP support? In-transit encryption only. At-rest encryption only. At-rest and in-transit encryption. No encryption is supported. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports both at-rest and in-transit encryption for data security. How can you monitor the health and performance of an Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file system? Employing AWS CloudTrail for API activity monitoring. Utilizing AWS config for resource configuration tracking. By leveraging Amazon CloudWatch metrics and logs. Inspecting the Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP console directly. Amazon CloudWatch provides comprehensive monitoring capabilities for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP, allowing users to track metrics like IOPS, throughput, and latency for performance analysis. What is a benefit of using Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP over traditional on-premises NetApp deployments? Simpler management interface. Faster access speed. Scalability and elasticity. Lower upfront costs only. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP offers scalability and elasticity, which are key benefits over traditional on-premises deployments. What are the scaling options available for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file systems? All of the above. Horizontal scaling by adding more file systems. Vertical scaling by increasing the instance type. Scaling the throughput capacity order for higher performance. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP offers multiple scaling options: vertical scaling by upgrading the instance type for increased IOPS, horizontal scaling by creating additional file systems, and scaling the throughput capacity order to adjust performance. What is a benefit of using Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP for business continuity? Built-in virus scanning. Direct integration with AWS Glue. Automatic instance scaling. Support for non-disruptive operations. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports non-disruptive operations, aiding in business continuity. What is the difference between NFS and CIFS file protocols supported by Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? NFS is a block-level protocol, while CIFS is a file-level protocol. NFS is a protocol for *NIX-based systems, while CIFS is commonly used on Windows machines. NFS offers higher performance compared to CIFS. NFS is primarily used on Windows systems, whereas CIFS is designed for Linux environments. NFS is a protocol for *NIX-based operating systems like Linux and Mac OS, while CIFS is the Windows counterpart used for file sharing. What type of storage does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP use? Optical storage. Floppy disk. Tape storage. SSD and HDD. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP utilizes a combination of SSD and HDD storage for performance and capacity. How are storage volumes managed in Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? As read-only volumes. As compressed archives. As fixed partitions. As flexible aggregates. Storage volumes in Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP are managed as flexible aggregates, allowing dynamic allocation of storage. Which service provides fully managed NetApp ONTAP file storage in AWS? Amazon S3. AWS Storage Gateway. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. Amazon EFS. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP is specifically designed to provide managed NetApp ONTAP file storage. Which AWS service can assist in optimizing data transfer performance with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS Budgets. AWS Snowball. AWS Direct Connect. AWS Glue. AWS Direct Connect can optimize data transfer performance with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. Which AWS service can be used to migrate data into Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS Batch. Amazon Kinesis. AWS Transfer Family. AWS DataSync. AWS DataSync is a suitable service for migrating data into Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.